Hi everyone, welcome to BrissLawton.com. Today we're talking about a topic that comes up a lot of times in my Facebook group, a lot of times with my clients, and just a lot of people who are on my email list, and they reach out to me with this kind of question. And we're talking about today where to find topics for your therapy blog. What do I actually write about? What should I say? How do I make sure what I'm saying resonates with my ideal client? If these are questions that you've asked yourself, stay tuned and we'll jump right into my top 3 places to find topics for your therapy blog. Hey there, welcome back. So I'm excited to dive into this today because, like I said, I get this question a lot. Even my cathartic marketing students, we did weeks on blogging and weeks on social media, and still it was like, well, how do I even know what to say? And where do I come up with what to say? And where do I come up with topics? All of these things. And I think it comes from a little bit of being vulnerable about having to put ourselves out there and just coming up with what to say. We may feel like the experts in our therapy sessions, but sometimes it's really hard to feel like the experts in our marketing. So, before we get started, I want to remind you about the online marketing archetype quiz that you can find on my website, and I'll link to it in the bottom of this, below this video, so you can go ahead and take the quiz. What this quiz does is it tells you what your marketing archetype is. So if you know a little bit more about yourself, your core values, where you stand as a marketer, and what your mission is and your message that you want to be putting out there, it can become really easy to write these blog posts because you're coming from a place of insight and a place of authenticity. So if you know a little bit about yourself, what you want to do with your marketing, what you want to say, it can be easier to write some of these blog posts. But today we're going to talk about my 3 favorite places for clinicians to find blog post topics. Now this is different than anybody else who's not a clinician. And what's great is that therapists already have everything they need, all the tools they need to be the best marketers, and I'm going to show you how. So the first place to go to find out topics to write for your blog is, of course, your notes, your clinical documentation, your therapeutic notes, your SOAP notes, whatever you're using to document your sessions. That is a gold mine for therapy blog content. Of course, like it's just kind of like, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? So I want to tell you guys that your therapy notes are the direct record of what your clients are talking to you about. They're also the direct record of how you help them. In your notes, you should say, client showed up with this, discussed this, used this intervention, this was the result. Even if you're writing short little paragraphs, there's ways to use these for fodder for your blog posts. And here's how. You want to look for common interventions. Do you have similar clients on your caseload? If you're seeing your ideal clients, they probably all have something in common, right? And odds are you're likely using similar interventions with them. Whether it's, insight-oriented questions, if you do narrative therapy and you're having them talk about themselves as a character or whatever it is, there's probably something that you do on a regular basis with clients. That could be a blog post right there. How you could write a blog post on how to use the scaling question to measure your anxiety, right? I mean, we would probably not use such jargony terms because our clients don't know what a scaling question is. But if you're a solution-focused therapist, you probably use that a lot in your practice. So pay attention to interventions that you write about in your notes often. Also, pay attention to common themes in your notes. Do you have 3 or 4 clients on your caseload that are talking about something similar? Are they all dealing with self-doubt? Are they all dealing with perfectionism? Are they all dealing with attachment issues? What are some of the common themes in your notes? Dissect those and see if you can come up with some blog posts about that. So when I work with clients on content strategy, this is the first place that I send them. I want them to go through their notes. I want them to look for common themes, common interventions, common threads between their clients. What are they saying? Are they answering similar questions over and over? Any of that stuff can be turned into a blog post. Okay, so Your second one, the second place to go to look for blog post topics is your intake paperwork. So perhaps you don't yet have a full caseload and you don't have as many notes to look through, or maybe you're switching niches or you're refining your ideal clients. So you have a lot of people on your caseload, but the notes that you're taking aren't like geared toward the people you're wanting to attract with your blogging or your marketing. Another great place to look is your intake paperwork. Are you using biopsychosocials? Are you using assessments? Are you using any of these tools when people sit down for session with you? If so, there's 3 things that I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to, what are they listing as their presenting problem? What are they saying is wrong currently? What are they saying are their objectives for treatment? What are their goals? What do they want to feel like? Okay, and number 3 is, what are the objections? What is standing in their way? What are their obstacles to getting from point A to point B? If you can find some of those things in their intake paperwork, perhaps they say, I'm coming to therapy because I'm feeling depressed. When you ask about what they want to feel like, or you do assessments or whatever it is that you're using to gather information, they say, I want to be less depressed. And the obstacle in their way is maybe they're going through a divorce, or they have family problems, or they have a kid with special needs, or something like that, that is keeping them in their depressed state. They see this thing in their life as an obstacle to getting to a less depressed state. Having those 3 pieces in your pocket can help you write a blog post right there. Okay? What's your problem? What's your end result that you want? And what's keeping you stuck? There is perfect information for a blog post. Okay? And so the third place to go, if you've already mined your notes, if you've already taken a look at your intake paperwork and you're still stuck for ideas about where to come up with some blog post topics, another great place to go is case consultation. Okay, so I know you're probably in private practice and you're likely not doing case consultations as often as you did when you were working at an agency. If your agency was anything like mine, we did them monthly and it was a big long thing and it took all day and we all went through our cases. Now, most of us, that might have been a big reason why we went into private practice, was to get away from some of that stuff. But hopefully we still have some people that we can call on and consult with for difficult cases. When this happens, this is a great place to pay attention to for marketing materials. And here's why. If it's a difficult case for you, imagine how your client's feeling, right? They're probably having a difficult time too. They might have even seen other clinicians, other therapists who might not have been doing case consultation and didn't know how to treat their unique situation. So if it resonates with you as a difficult case, it's probably resonating with a ton of other people out there as something that they struggle with. So whether it's your case that you're seeking guidance on, or whether someone's coming to you to consult on a case, it might be a place to pay attention and wonder, is there a message here? Is there something that I want to make clear about this situation? Is there an impact that I can make here? And if that's the case, it could turn into a really awesome blog post for you. So just to summarize, the 3 places that you can go to find some really great ideas for blog topics, and these can be podcasts, these can be videos, these can be Facebook Lives, anything that you want to create content around and market your practice. You can try your notes, you can try your intake paperwork, and you can try anytime you have a case consultation. If you have more questions about this, or if you thought this was just the most insightful video ever, I would love to hear that. Hop on into our Facebook group, Online Marketing with Empathy. This is the community for all of us to really make sure that we are marketing our practices with integrity, that we're coming from a place of authenticity and strategy when we are using the internet to get new clients. So I've got the link to that group as well below here. Make sure that you A, take your online marketing archetype quiz, and B, join us in the Facebook group. And I can't wait to see you later. Thanks.